these authoritarians hate Bitcoin and they hate crypto, and it's for the same reason. Why do they hate Joe Rogan? Because they can't control him. He's not subject to their authoritarian power. Why do they hate Bitcoin? Because they can't control it. It is a system of currency outside of the monopoly control of the U.S. government. And I got to say, as I've addressed, I spoke at a big crypto conference in Austin several months ago, and I said, listen, you need to understand this administration, I believe, is going to go after you and is going to try to destroy you. And by the way, that's a pattern of authoritarians. China, communist China, outlawed Bitcoin for the exact same reason. Why does Elizabeth Warren hate Bitcoin? For the same reason that she in China hates Bitcoin, because neither one of them can control it. And the theme through all of this is the power of freedom to be not subject to the arbitrary whims of those in government power. So I bought Bitcoin, I own Bitcoin. I think according to the public reports, there are 3 senators that own Bitcoin, me, Cynthia Lummis, and Pat Toomey. I'll say, I don't know, 6-8 months ago, I didn't know a whole lot about Bitcoin and crypto. And I saw that it was growing and developing, and I said, look, I need to educate myself. And so I started setting up dinners with people involved in the crypto world and just sitting down and listening to them. And I started off with, all sorts of dumb questions. What is it? How does it work? And learning. And it's complicated stuff. And I certainly would not hold myself out as an expert today. But I started learning and listening to it and being fascinated by the development of it, by the ability. There's a book, actually, that Cynthia Lummis recommended to me called Layered Money, which I read, that talks about some of the history of the development of money from the beginning, but crypto is the next evolution of it. And I've gotten very bullish on crypto, especially Bitcoin, and really horrified at the efforts of Elizabeth Warren and big government Democrats to crush this growing industry. Texas is becoming an oasis for Bitcoin. We're seeing more and more crypto moving to Texas, particularly Austin. And so I started several months ago. I actually have a weekly buy order in for Bitcoin, that every week I just have an automatic buy. Look, given that there's volatility, I'm a fan of dollar cost averaging, which is just having a buy that occurs weekly automatically so that high or low, it averages out. And then what I ended up doing, I guess a couple of weeks ago, is when Bitcoin dropped about in half, I said, all right, I don't believe this drop. And so I made a bigger purchase. I bought $25,000 worth of Bitcoin. Under the Senate, you have to file a financial disclosure for a purchase over $1,000. So I filed that financial disclosure. And, usually those financial disclosures don't, maybe they get a little bip, but they don't get a whole lot of attention. It actually was fascinating, Michael, when I filed the financial disclosure. It generated a ton of press. And listen, I am bullish on Bitcoin, so I'm proud to say I got skin in the game. I believe in it, and that's why I invested in it. But I think we ought to be encouraging. I want cryptocurrency. I want America to be the hub of cryptocurrency globally, and frankly, I want Texas to be the hub of cryptocurrency in America. This administration could kill crypto. When I talked to the conference in Austin, there are a lot of folks in the crypto world who are a little bit utopian, that they have a view that we are inevitable, that Bitcoin is inherently superior to all other forms of money. I will say one of the things I like about it is it's a potential hedge against inflation. And given this administration spending trillions and driving up trillions in debt, I'm interested in the hedge in inflation as they're devaluing the dollar. And so I like Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. But the point I made at this conference is y'all need to understand government can destroy you. I asked, how many of y'all have heard of Napster? And they all did. And I said, listen, it's easy to think we're happily in our sort of Austin peaceful place. And I think Bitcoin is actually where Silicon Valley was maybe 15 or 20 years ago, which is at a fork in the road, where Silicon Valley could have chosen to go towards a libertarian utopia. Leave us alone, let's be entrepreneurs, let's have freedom. Or they could have done what they did, which is to go down the socialist woke path of we exercise power, we are totalitarian, and we're hard leftist woke. And unfortunately, Silicon Valley took the wrong choice. I think Bitcoin and crypto more generally is at that same fork in the road. I hope that they go the libertarian way. I hope they go the small business, leave us alone, let us be entrepreneurs. That is really potent, so I'm trying to encourage it, but absolutely there is a very real and potent threat from the Biden administration that they will go after it, that they will try to destroy it. And I'm going to fight against that because I think it is a huge, huge industry going forward, and I don't want to see the idiot politicians in Washington drive it out of America and send it overseas. It won't disappear, but Washington is perfectly capable of sending the jobs overseas and sending that business overseas. I think that would be catastrophic. So I've actually introduced legislation in Congress to have the congressional store accept Bitcoin.
Really?
So that's one of the pieces of legislation I've introduced as a way of spreading its acceptance. By the way, in El Salvador, I spoke with the president of El Salvador last week. El Salvador, it's legal currency. It's legal tender in El Salvador. And it is, Bitcoin has all sorts of potential, particularly in a developing economy, for people to have secure savings. You may not have access to a bank account, but if you have a cell phone, if you have any technology, you can have secure savings that can't be stolen from you. It can also is secure, instantaneous transactions. You can transfer it, buy and sell. There are massive inefficiencies right now in the transfers of cash that crypto and Bitcoin go all around. And so it is a generation skipping technology, which is potent. And that's one of the reasons. So I've introduced legislation to repeal what the Democrats did, putting additional burdens on crypto. And I've also, as I said, I think the congressional store ought to accept it because it helps expand the ability of this industry to grow. And I think there's enormous benefit to Texas and the country as this industry grows.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much, much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.